So welcome back everyone. Yep, that's of course right. Today I am of course going to be unboxing the new Pokemon card set, that of course being Black Bolt. Now, these released last month, and well, I wanted to do a unboxing, at least for Black Bolt. Now, I've already technically have opened up the companion for this, White Flame. I actually got this one a few days back. Here, of course, I can tell it's open. Got quite a few cards with it. Got the player's guide, and of course, I'm going to show off some cards real quick before I do the unboxing. Also, apologies for the fan. It is hot where I'm at. And of course, we got some cards from White Flare. We got a Buffalon EX, a Patrat, Blitzel, Zweilis, Cottony. Got quite a few cards, some foils and such, event cards and such. Rezion, a Ignition Energy, Samurai, and of course Zweilis and Gothorita. I think these are arguably the better cards that I've gotten from this set. There is a bunch of energy cards I got though, which is kind of cool. Actually, there's no one that we missed. We got a Hydreigon EX, Jellicent EX, and of course a holographic Ferrothorn, which I do like Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn's pretty cool. We also got another Gothorita, Tornadus, and of course a full art Pignite. I've had a few of these before, like one of Yanmega and Metatite, but it was pretty cool getting this, and also Terrakion and Pilda and Gothitelle. So I think these were arguably the cooler cards I got. So we'll of course be opening Black Bolt here in a moment. Of course, actually the last unboxing I did was of course the 151. Never did the Dustin Marvels one, but this was the last, I guess, really big release before this one. But of course, we will be moving on to Black Bolt. I actually really like the cover for this one. It looks pretty cool. I like it a lot more than White Flare. Turquoise and black is a really good combination of colors. White and red do go really well together, but I do like how they did the release for this one. It definitely kind of felt like old school Pokemon, with there being minor differences between the card sets. So of course we'll be seeing what is in this release, and well, will it be good? Let's find out. So we got the cover, and we of course, got some cool artwork of Sekrom, and we got some art of various cards. That's a pretty cool one. And of course, more art of cards, just really talking about the game and such. And of course, there's the cards that do come with the collection. You got the Snivy line, the Pansage line, Batilil, Rakdos, the got Victini, got one of the other got one of the other elemental monkeys. You got some Fallout cards. Of course, which cards you get really does depend on, the rarity. Some are common, some are not going to be common. We also got some cool ones over here. Overall, I definitely do think that the art that they've been doing for these cards is generally really good. So, honestly, I want to give, the artists some applause for the artwork for these games, because, this is generally really amazing. So, of course, let's open it up. And of course, we will open up. And so we got a divider, which isn't, too important. Just holding the cards inside. We of course got our cards. They of course have Zekrom. if it was White Flare, it would have Reshiram. Here's hoping that they do another one here sometime in future. You know, like maybe they'll do black and white Kyurem. You of course have some. You of course have some dice. You know, White Flare also had these two. We of course have these coins. We have card dividers, which I think these ones are pretty cool. Now, there was, I did have other dividers back when Plasma Blast released. There's a bunch of Genesect ones, and so White Flare, these would have been for Reshiram. Then of course we have all the elemental cards. I'm not really going to be opening these up on, I'm not really going to be opening these because there's not really much of a reason to. And of course we got a special card over here. This of course being Thunderous. It's a full art, and honestly, this one's actually pretty cool. If it's White Flare, I think White Flare gets Tornadus. Yeah, because on the back of it, you know, you can see Tornadus, and of course there's also the back of, there's, you know, the card holders, and then there's kind of whatever these things are in the corner. I don't know exactly what they are, but overall, both sets are going to be somewhat identical to each other. So of course, I guess we'll open up the card sets and see what cards we get. Okay, so we got the first pack open, and we'll be seeing what we did get. I did open up the Landorus one. Thunderous. We also do have this other plastic card. I guess these are dividers or something. I don't exactly know what they are, but they're kind of cool. And the first card we of course get is a holographic electric energy. Not too bad. Okay, cool. We pulled a Kabalion, and it's a... I think that's a holographic. So that's actually pretty cool. We got a holographic BHM. I always forget the name of that thing. We get a Clink. It's actually pretty cool. We get a Reuniclus. If I can find a Duosion, I will be happy, because I've been collecting these for like 12 years at this point, and I've never gotten one. We got a Elemenmola, very hard name to pronounce. A Amoonguss, okay, very cool. A Patillo, nice Pokemon. A Timber. A Minchino. And of course, the final card is, of course, a Fracture. So, pack 1, not too bad. You know, there's some cool Pokemon that we got. You know, we got some neat foils. You know, we got a legendary Pokemon, so that's actually pretty cool. So we'll of course be seeing what pack 2 introduces. Okay, so I did get a small peek at the first card. I don't know what type it is. I just got like a peek at the cover of it. So because the first one is of course a Dark Energy. I will definitely say I don't think they should be including energy cards in this pack, because like we literally got a huge pack of energy cards. But I don't know. Whoa. We just got a... This is my second Kyurem EX. Not of this set, but the Plasma Blast set did have a Kyurem EX in that one. So that's actually kind of cool. We got a Prism Energy. We got a Foil Axew. Actually pretty nice. Actually is a cool Pokemon. Another Amoonguss. Okay, not too bad. We got a Fro. We got Professor Fennel, who's probably one of the best characters in Black and White. We of course got Servine. First Servine I've actually got. Here's hoping we can get a Snivy or Superior. We got a Venipede, which is also pretty nice. Another Fracture. And of course the final Pokemon card is of course Palpitoad. And Palpitoad's awesome. I love that little smile. Overall, pack 2, there's some repeats, but at the same time, you also did get some really good cards. And obviously, the best one is, well, going to be Kyurem EX. I mean, you cannot doubt that this is a lucky pull. As for favorites, probably this little guy. I like him. So, moving on to pack number 3. Oh, then of course we also do get these. I don't really use these at all, so we're just going to be moving those to the side. So of course, card number 1 of pack 3 is of course a electric energy. Okay, then we got Haxorus. That's pretty cool. Whoa, we got full art, Torpedo. Actually a really cool Pokemon. I actually love pigeons in real life. And you got an LGM. Okay, nice. We get a Bishop, which is awesome. A Crustal, which is nice. We got another Fennel. Not gonna complain because Fennel's awesome. We got Willipede. After that, we of course got Solosis. Here's hoping we get a Duosion. We get a Pansage, which I don't know if I have Pansage. I know I have Simisear and a Pansear. And of course, final card is of course a Panpour, which that is pretty awesome. I think this is a pack 3, I think. Overall, pack 3 I think was actually pretty good. You know, some really good cards in this one. Sure, nothing too groundbreaking like a Kyurem EX or Cavalion. But at the same time, there were some pretty cool cards in this one, especially the full art Pedo. That's actually pretty cool. We'll be moving on to the next pack right now. Of course, the next pack is, of course, going on now. So we will, of course, see what the first card is. And that is, of course, a Fire Energy. Okay, not too bad. And actually, they changed the background for the energies, because I think with Destined Rivals they were a bit different, which is kind of cool. You know, it's not the exact same thing, but it's not too different. But at the same time, it's still something new that really does kind of justify, you know, picking up energy cards. And of course, next up, we got a Superior EX. Okay, I was not expecting that. That's actually really cool. Hopefully we can get a Snivy. We got a Conkeldurr, which is pretty nice. Next up, we of course have a holographic Amoonguss. Nice. A Electros. Cool Pokemon, although I never did use one. We got Crocodile. We of course have Barbary. Clink. Another Palpitoad. A Crocorock, and forgive these cards sliding. And of course the final card is of course a Antique Cover Fossil. Okay, so first item card. I'm a little surprised because usually item cards seem to be a bit more common, but I'm not going to complain. I think the best card is definitely going to be the Superior EX. That's actually really cool. I actually pulled a Pignite in the last one, and you know, so it's nice to have those starters. You know, hopefully we can get a Snivy, because I think I'm just missing Snivy now, because Oshawott line I've had, and I've had Tepig and Emboar, and I got Pignite recently, and so hopefully we can get Snivy. Of course, I have about 5 packs left, so we'll of course be seeing whether or not it's doable. Hopefully it is. Then of course the next pack. And the first Pokemon card is of course a Fighting type energy. Okay, nothing too special. Well, we got Carracosta, so that's definitely more special. For Pokemon, we got a holographic Darumaka, which is pretty nice. We got a foil Unpheasant, so that's pretty cool. We got a Electric. We got a Chinchino, a Escavalier. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Then we got a Drebel, a Munna, Awesome, we got a Snivy. And we got an Axew. Okay, honestly, I will definitely say probably the best cards is the Unpheasant and probably the Snivy, because those are ones I did not already have. But overall, this pack was pretty cool. Okay, and the next pack, and of course we have a Water Energy, a Beartech, which I don't know if I have. We got a foil Audino, which is nice, and a Timber, another Escavalier, a Professor's Research, a Seismitoad, a Temple, a Solosis. Okay, honestly, please give me a Duosion, a Darmaka, and of course a Rufflet. Overall, this pack was pretty cool. Nothing too special. There are a few repeats, but overall, I'm still satisfied with this. I'm just honestly hoping I can get my Duosion, because I do not want to wait like another 12 years just to get one. Okay, back after a quick refreshment break. Yeah, make sure you keep your fluids up during the summer, everyone. Of course, the first Pokemon card we of course have is a Dark Energy. Nothing too special. Then we got Kling Kling. Awesome. Another Kling Kling. This time a foil, which is generally pretty cool. We got a Golett, a Golett. You got a Prism Energy, a Unfezon, a Reuniclus, a Crocroc, another Audino, a Girder, and of course a Pamphlet. Overall, not a special set, but there were some cool cards in this one. Second to last pack. Hopefully we get something good. And of course, first up is a foil Dark Energy, which actually is pretty cool. I feel like they should do more of this stuff. Okay, that is awesome. That's a Victini. I don't know how rare that is. And we got a Cryogonal. I'm actually going to see how rare that Victini is after this, because that's actually really cool. We got a foil Patillo. And of course, next up, we of course have another Crocodile, a Behem, a Steamy Pour, a Clink, a Moga, an Elgium, and of course a Pansage. Final pack. And we'll be opening up here right in a couple. Yeah, that Victini is rare. It's the 1-star ones. That's actually kind of cool. So I'm actually really happy about that. So of course, I'm going to the final pack. Okay, I actually definitely got a sneak peek at this one, but it's a Sandile. We got Steel Energy, a Landorus. Actually, whoa, that's actually pretty cool, because yeah, that's the final legendary I actually need, because Reshiram I've had, I think, from the 20th anniversary set, or one of the anniversary sets. Zekrom I've had from another one. Kyurem I've already had. Virizion I've had. Cobalion I've had. Trakin I've had. Killio I had from another set. I think I have Meloetta too. But that's actually pretty cool. I was not expecting that. And we got a full art Patillo. That is actually really awesome. We got a foil Muna, a Scolipede, awesome Pokemon by the way, a Darmanitan, a Elemental, a Larvesta, a Jilbur, and of course the final Pokemon card, a Maractus. So I'm kind of sad that I did not get my Duosion. I know you could go on like eBay or something and get one, but honestly that feels like cheating. You know, I kind of like the mystery aspect of Pokemon cards, which you could probably say it's kind of like gambling, but at the same time, honestly, I kind of don't see it as gambling. I just see it as collecting fun Pokemon cards. So, of course, what are my thoughts on Pokemon White Flare and Black Bolt? So, of course, considering that I have these two, I guess my thoughts on these ones is that, well, I think both were pretty good. Overall, I do like Black Bolt a lot more. I did get less repeats than White Flare. I think I did also get some really cool cards in Black Bolt compared to White Flare. That's not to say that White Flare is going to be bad. I mean, these sets are randomized, so honestly what you get really just depends on the luck. But as for whether or not to buy these sets or go for the smaller booster packs, like the ones I showed earlier, or just go for the individual sets that just have the 10 cards, it really depends. Personally, I would probably say go for the smaller packs. I feel like they're generally a lot cheaper and I feel like they're definitely a bit more interesting to collect. These ones have a bunch of other random stuff in them, like the dividers, the card sleeves, the dice, whatever. Overall, I will definitely say I think this is a 8.5 out of 10 for a set. I think there are some really good cards in this set. A lot of ones that I'm going to be adding to my collection, and there's some unique cards in this one. Overall, I'm very happy with this release. Compared to Destined Rivals and 151, which were the last sets I've collected for, I will definitely say this is the best one that I've collected for recently. 151 was not bad because it did have a lot of Kanto Pokemon, and it did add to my collection. Same with the Destined Rivals one. But at the same time, this one also feels like a really great love letter to Unova. There's a lot of awesome Unova Pokemon, and if you missed out on the Black and White series of Pokemon cards, this is generally a really good bundle to get. Whether or not you get the Elite Trainer box, or if you get one of the smaller bundles, I definitely recommend picking this one up, especially if you're getting into collecting Pokemon cards, because there's a lot of really cool Pokemon cards in this one. And the luck I had with these ones, I thought I got pretty lucky. Not to mention any repeats you can get. You can just simply trade them to a friend, or probably even find a store that deals with Pokemon cards. Overall, I really do enjoy this one, and I do recommend this one. I'm looking forward to doing more Pokemon card stuff if I can. I also do want to review specific sets. I don't know when I'm going to start on that, because again, I've missed out on a lot of these. But that's all I really have to say for today. So of course, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful night. Oh, and of course, before I do go, thank you so much for 42 subscribers. That is really awesome, and I'm honestly glad I get to make content and have found a terrific audience. Thank you again for 100 subscribers on my main channel too. That is seriously awesome. I'm never gonna stop thanking people for that, because I genuinely appreciate that people take time out of their day to watch my videos. So of course, until then, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day, and of course I will be back hopefully soon with my thoughts on Wii U.